So the plan was, and to be fair, the 5th, it was like, well, if I have an accident, then maybe there'd be 5. But it's like, my dream family was I wanted 1 boy, because I want my oldest to be a boy. And then I'll have 2 girls that'll be like Irish twins, so like a pregnancy apart. And then I'll have a 4th. And I hoped, and to God, that would be a boy as well.
I only want 1 boy.
Because then I could be like, oh yes, well, none of you can complain about how many siblings you have because you each have 1 sibling that's your gender, and you have enough siblings that you can hang out with anyone at any point in time, and the other ones will be annoyed with you, but you can choose one to not be annoying to, and it'll put up with your crap. So, there. Figured it out. And the only reason that I thought that 4 was like the perfect number was because I grew up with 1 brother, biologically.
Me too.
And he is a poo head. And I always wanted a sister. To the point that when the doctor told us that he was a boy, I told him to kindly put it back and give me a sister.
Wow.
I was fine with waiting another 10 months. I didn't care if I had to wait another 10 months.
Dang.
Put it back.
Wow.
I want a girl. Yeah. So then I was like, well, since I've always wanted a sister and he's always wanted a brother, then you just need 2 of each.
There you go.
And that's the plan. But the accident child, it was like, I hope to God that it's a boy. But if I had to have 5 kids now, I'd probably lean more towards having more girls than boys because I like girls better, all in all.
Me too. That's why I only want I don't want kids now, but in the past, I wanted there to be 1 boy in between the girls because
Sisters fight like hell.
Not just that, but because I want him specifically to learn from his older sister how to treat women. That's why I don't want him to be the oldest one.
Yeah.
I want him to be the middle child because the middle child usually learns from the oldest and the youngest because I'm the youngest, and then my brother is the middle child, and then my oldest brother is in the U.S., so I was never really around him much. But we learned from each other because we were all that we had besides our mom, but we were like the only 2 siblings that we had, so we just would learn from each other and just feed off of each other. And if we had an older one there, an older sister, I feel like that would just be perfect because we could just learn. I would be able to learn from her and steal her clothes and stuff like that, and like
the hand-me-downs.
Yeah, exactly. And then he could learn from her how to treat women because well, it's obvious not many men in this world really know how to treat women. So there's so much sexual assault and such like that. So I feel like it would be very important for him to just have 1 boy and have him be in the middle there. Because it's easier to teach a girl to how to deal with guys, kind of, in ways. Sometimes.
Well, I mean, with girls, it's like, it's something that you ingrain in them from the second they're born. Like, walk with your hands in between your fingers. Not your hands. Your keys in between your fingers. Like, walk on the farthest side of the road that you can. If you see someone walking the other way, you cross the street.
Yes.
Like, you need to always be aware. If you think someone's following you, make 3 right-hand turns because then they've just walked in a circle, so you know if they're following you or not. Like, just things like that. Like, I've been told the walk in a circle thing since I was 4.
I never was.
I never walked anywhere at 4 by myself. And my mom's like, you need to know.
Exactly. And the thing is that it's sad because it's being so ingrained into women.
But not into boys.
Exactly, and that's why specifically I'm like, you need to be the middle child and learn from your sister that this ain't right to act that way, okay? But I don't know, it's like in health class. I always wondered, specifically high school, because health class up until high school was always girls and boys together.
Yeah.
Except for in grade 6, I think. They split the girls and boys up, so I don't know what the boys learned then. But in grade 7 or 8, it was grade 8, I think, the boys and girls were all together, so we all learned the same thing. And so I knew what they were learning. I'm not saying, okay, what they're learning is different from what I'm learning, and that's unfair.
Yeah.
They're learning just how their penis is working, blah, blah, blah. They're not, meanwhile, the girls are being taught to stay away from guys, and that guys might, like, act like this, so you need to make sure you don't wear anything too revealing. And, like, none of the guys are learning that crap. They're just being taught that this is what happens with your penis, and this is what it looks like, and that's it. That's done. Health class over. Like, the girls, it's just more intense. You need to make sure you don't wear a little skirt too short. You can't wear booty shorts. You can't wear a spaghetti strap because it was, like, against the rules to wear spaghetti straps. And I'm like, oh, my. None of the guys had to hear any of that crap. They could wear whatever the hell they wanted. It was totally fine. But then in high school, it was ingrained into us even more in grade 9 health class, since you only had to take gym class once, and so I only took it in grade 9. Then I was like, I'm done with you because I hate gym. Freaking hated it. I hated the teacher. She didn't like me either. Whatever. Anyways, and so it was the girls, and then the boys were split up into a different class. So I don't know what the boys learned, but the girls learned the rules of how to dress. That was something we were taught constantly. No spaghetti straps, no spaghetti straps, no spaghetti straps. Constantly.
I hated being told that. We were told that at my elementary school, like, from the point that we were in grade 1, I was getting in trouble. They're like, oh, this tank top, this strap is too thin. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm 6. Really?
But boys are gonna get turned on. Little 6-year-old boys are gonna get turned on by that.
That 6-year-old's gonna get a hard on staring at a spaghetti strap.
And that was just. I mean, even in health class, the girls would kind of rebel against that and ask the teacher, why are you telling us to do that? Like, why aren't you telling the guys what to do and to stop being little jerkwads that can't control themselves? Why are you just telling us to cover ourselves up? And so girls all the time in my high school would just show up with spaghetti straps and booty shorts on. And the teachers would always complain, like, why is she dressing like that? I remember one of them complained, I saw this one student and it just surprised me how short her shorts were. Like, I did not expect that from her. That is unacceptable. I don't hear a single freaking teacher talking about how any of the guys dress.
Yeah.
So.
And at my high school specifically, we literally had instances of boys walking around completely shirtless. There was a kid who ripped his freaking shirt off. Literally grabbed it from either side with his hands and ripped it in half off his chest. And the only request from a teacher after 2 hours of him wandering around without a shirt on was, do you have a change of clothes? So you know what he did? He stapled his shirt back together. And he walked around with his shirt stapled.
Wow.
And that was that.
I mean, that happened at my elementary school in grade.
A staple shirt?
Not the stapling, but where a kid, he which is funny. This little scrawny, tiny little kid, I remember Peter, he was always like this guy that was trying to be fighting everyone. He's like, yo, I'm against the rules. I don't trust the man and blah, all that stupidness.
Don't trust the government.
Yeah, and he always thought he was just hard and stuff like that. He thought he was some sort of gangster, for heaven's sakes. Like in freaking grade 7. What do you mean gangster? And this wasn't either grade 7 or 8 because I was at that school that he was at only for 2 years. I think it was grade 8. Yes, it was grade 8. And we were outside on the playground. It was recess time. And he was arguing earlier with this one girl, Caitlin. And they went onto the playground. And Caitlin and him were still arguing. And so then he's like, yo, you want to fight me? You want to fight me? And everyone's like, are you about to fight a girl? Are you serious? And he rips off his shirt. He's just pounding his chest. Fight me. And like Caitlin is bigger than him.
Yeah.
Peter is this tiny little, and everyone's just like, you know you're gonna get beat up, right?
You know she's gonna whoop your ass.
And he was just, and like everyone was just laughing at him because he does that multiple times. Every time he gets into a fight with someone, he rips his shirt off. Like that was not the first time he did that. So you just have to.
Can you imagine being that kid's mom? Like, oh, Jimmy, we gotta buy you another shirt? Thanks.
What are your plans for the future? Like, do you want to go to school or do you just want to work? Like, what do you want to do?
I do definitely want to go to school. I mean, work. Everyone does at some point. But I do really want to go back to school. Not really for anything specific, like career-wise. Just, like, there's so many things in the world that I just want to learn about, and I want to suck up as much knowledge as I can in this lifetime, and I would really love to go to school for like 12 different things that are completely unrelated to each other. But mostly what I want to do specifically before I have kids is I want to take a early childhood and development course. I want to do child first aid and CPR and all that. And I also, before I have kids, want to do a English literature course. Because while I'm not looking to be like a professional writer to support myself for the rest of my life, there is one story that I've been writing since I was like 8 years old that I freaking love, and it has to get published. So if there is one goal in my life, it is to publish that story before I die.
What is it about? Can I get a little tidbit?
I can give you a little tidbit. It's about witches. It's called Harridan because Harridan used to be kind of like a derogatory term for like, oh, you're a bitch, you're a witch, you're like, you're a nasty person. It's kind of like, it was more so used as like an old woman where it was like, oh, we think you're a witch because you don't have a husband or that kind of thing. You don't have kids, you don't have a dead husband, you don't have a living husband. Why are you here? You're a Harridan.
Why are you here?
Yeah, so that was that. I was just literally, when I was like 14, I was like, I should finally name this story because I've been planning it out in my head for years. And I went online and I just looked up words that mean witch. And so that's how I found it. And it just kind of clicked with me, and I was like, yeah, I like that.
Alrighty.
So it'll be interesting. Basically, it's about this badass girl who was a princess, but she is like, her mother married into the throne, so she doesn't really have any title to the throne. She would never be queen or anything like that. Well, she's a girl. She wouldn't be queen anyways. Let's be honest. The patriarchy is rough. But her kingdom gets overthrown, and she finds out that she has magical powers, and she has to figure out how to save her entire kingdom, even though it's something that was just placed onto her shoulders at 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
That sounds very interesting. Cool. Well, then, let me ask. First of all, I thought you'd want to go to school for something to do with, like, the arts. But no. Really?
I've thought about doing, like, well, no, not graphic design. I don't know why that popped into my head. But, I've thought about doing, like, basic arts courses, like, learning, because I've always been really artsy, but I've never really been involved in classes, and I think that would be a really neat experience for growth.
Yeah.
And it's something that I would freaking love, so it would be fun. But, yeah, not the top of my priorities.
Have you ever thought about acting or anything like that?
Oh, girl, I love acting.
Really?
I'm so dramatic. It would be weird if
tell.
it would be weird if I didn't like acting to a certain degree. So, yes, I would love to do acting stuff. I've thought about doing that many times. I've looked into, like, because they're filming stuff in Vancouver all the time. Like, it's just a skip across the pond. So it's so expensive. But I would love to get involved in that. Like, if I had the opportunity to work as an actress, I would just soak that up.
Dream come true.
I would love it.
Well, my last question to you then for the night is, do you have a motto?
Do I have a motto?
Yeah.
No, if you ask me, I'm gonna lose it. It's gone. God, okay. I have so many. I have so many stupid things that I say all the time.
It's okay, just do one. It's a hard decision.
Don't believe stereotypes because my dogs climb trees.
Okay. Okay.